We are going to talk about some basic course settings. I'm logged into my basic Schoology account, and you'll see that my course dashboard is my landing page. I also can access courses by clicking on courses in the upper toolbar, and I will see all my courses as well. It can only hold so many in this view. So I'm going to go to the words My Courses in the right-hand corner, and I will be able to see every single course that is a current course for me. If um, my district is using grading periods, or I have set up grading periods myself, anything that is past a certain grading period, so once the grading period ends, it would go into your archived area. You'll see on the right-hand side, we have some options. I can join a course, create a course, or reorder my courses. I'm going to click on join a course, and you'll see it will ask for an access code. So I need to go either receive the code from someone to get to that, or I want to show you where your students would, you would access the code for your students. You'll see right here in a green box in my Schoology course, there is an access code. This is the code that I will use to give to my students if my district has not linked to the student information system. And this is how they would join the course. So I copied this code, and I'm going to go to courses, my courses, and click on join a course. And this is where I would paste that code and join the course. It automatically enrolls you as a member. I can also create a course, and it will give me some text fields to fill out to go through to complete creating a shell of a course. Also, if you're using an enterprise version, your district may be syncing with their student information system where enrollments as well as courses will be pulled automatically in. So you won't have to create your courses. They will be automatically populated for you. A great tool is this reorder courses. If I select that, it shows all of my current courses. And some of these I may be more active in than others. And maybe I want my blended learning class viewable first. So I can manipulate this by just selecting and dragging them to a certain order. And I'll show you what that looks like. So I have my blended learning course at the very top. If I go to courses, you'll see that that is the first course I see. Also, if I go to my dashboard, it's the first course I see as well. So let's go into a course and start talking about some of the options we have. This is your basic course shell. You'll see you have a lot of different options here. You simply click on course options and you can go through many different settings. But first, you might want to think about the icon that's going to be representing your course. If I select edit picture, you'll see that Schoology has some different thumbnail images that I can use for my course. I'm just going to select on a different one and you'll see it changes. Or I can select edit picture and attach a file, and it tells me the map size for that file. So you can customize an image if you wish. If I select on course options, I'm going to go through each one of these different components. The first option under the course options is view course as. This is a great tool because I can view the course as any student in my class. So I might have a student come to me and say, I just can't find that assignment. I don't know where you're talking about to add to this discussion. I can click on the student's name and see the course exactly how the student would. You'll see the left-hand side looks a little different. They have less options than I have as a facilitator. And I can just go ahead and show the student where to go to look for that particular activity. Another great way to do this is to show the student view when you're first getting your students into Schoology. This is a great way to kind of pace them through, show them the elements in their menus and in the materials part of the course, reminders and upcoming events. So it's a great way to use this as a tutorial. When I'm done viewing this as a particular student, I can click back to course and it will bring me back to my main course view. I'm going to click on options again, and I'm going to click on send a message. This is a little bit limiting. You have your all members, which would include administrators in the course and student members. I could send a message just to admins, or I can send a message just to the members of my course. That will not include administrators. I type my subject, my message, I can upload a file, add a link, or add something from my resources. And when I hit send, a notification will appear in the student's envelope. So this would turn to a 2 if I was sending a message to myself. So that's one way to communicate to members. You also can edit the information. When I select edit info, it will also give me access to the rest of these options. So there's 2 ways to access the rest of these options. I'm going to select on edit info, and you'll see it has the name of my course, the section, the subject area, grade level. I can um, change any of these text fields. And sometimes when districts connect with their student information system, the course may have a strange name. It's however it's showing up. That might just be a number. You can simply update your course name here. So I could type whatever the subject is, or put, Mrs. P's advanced Schoology course, however I want to do that. And if I make any changes, I must make sure that I select save. The details are adding a description, a location such as room 205, and then the days that the class meets. If you choose to do that, this is optional. Privacy and course settings. Many times if you're using an enterprise account, these are already set up for you. This is a basic account, so I can go ahead and make sure that, maybe I only want people in my course to see the updates, the materials, the roster, and the calendar. Maybe I don't want everybody in the school to be able to see that. The profile would be just the description of the course, so that's up to you. Another thing to think about is other settings. You want to determine if you want all members or just course admin seeing different areas here. It defaults to all members, and I think that is the best policy. This is something that I have turned on. This is for parent and visitor settings. Parents have a view-only access, so they can't interact with assignments or discussions. So what you want to think about is, do you want to have anonymous member names? So when I click over this, parents will be able to only see their students' work, and all other names will appear as anonymous, which I think is a good policy, and I like to have that checked. It is defaulted as off unless your district using an enterprise version has changed that setting in the back end. And then also with the hide comments and posts. So parents will only be able to view their students' comments on like a discussion post and any comments made back by the teacher. And they'll see a gray bar over other students' comments. That's something that I think is good policy, digital citizenship, privacy. And I'm sure most of you agree, and districts have it set up so this is already happening on the back end if you're using enterprise. The default landing page, it depends on how you want to work with this, but it determines what students see first when they enter your course. So do you want your students to see the updates, or do you want your students to go right into the materials? So I'm going to show you both. So I'm going to save changes, and I'm going to go back to the course by just clicking on the title here in the upper left. And you'll see the landing page is the materials. If I go back to the edit info and click on privacy and change that to updates, you'll see that the landing page will be any updates that I share with my students. So think of you, how your workflow works best for you, and think about your learners and what would work best for them. And that will help determine how you want to change that privacy setting. The external tools I'm not going to go over. This is something that your district will have to integrate, so keep that in mind. And then moderation is for discussion questions. You can enable moderation, which would mean that every single post that students do in a reply to a discussion question will have to be approved. before it is visible to anybody else in the Schoology course. So just keep that in mind. It might be something that you want to turn on in the very beginning of using Schoology with your students, at a new semester, beginning of the school year, and then see how your students utilize the discussion responses. And if you feel that they are using good digital citizenship and being respectful, maybe you can turn the moderation off by simply clicking on disable moderation. This is something that can be turned on and off, so keep that in mind. You may need it at the beginning. You can turn it off within a few weeks, or there may be something where somebody has posted something inappropriate and you want to go back to that moderation. The recycle bin is anything that you've deleted from your course. If you deleted it by accident, you can simply click on the gear and restore it. So keep that in mind. It's not quite as tragic if you delete something and want it back. So that is the basics about the course settings and options and how to change those. We're going to continue on in the next video talking about the actual interface of Schoology, go over the rest of the items on the left-hand side, and talk about some of the items on the right-hand side.